All right, so we have Melanie Mack here, who is now married. She doesn't have to do this for money anymore, so she's not panhandling on the internet. She's a trad wife with a husband who is paying all the bills, and Melanie can get on camera and scream as much as she wants, and it doesn't matter if she has brand deals or advertising revenue. It doesn't matter. And Melanie has something to say about Supergirl. She pulled the victim card already. Wow. All right. Well, let's see what Melanie has to say about Millie Alcock, because I'm pretty sure that it's going to be very not based.
Oh, it looks like the Supergirl movie is going to be terrible.
Oh.
I know we're 2 months before release.
Wow.
But guess what? Millie Alcock, the lead actress for this movie, is already doing damage control. Already.
So the movie's going to be terrible based on what? Comments she made about House of the Dragon? I mean, I don't know. That's pretty fucking try hard. That's pretty try hard. Okay.
Already giving excuses for why this is going to flop. By pulling that victim card,
By the way, no victim card pulled. She literally is the opposite of a victim in that interview. When I talk about media literacy, this is what I mean. This is what I'm talking about. In the interview, she says, there's nothing I can do about it. I could just be myself. That's not playing a victim. That's her acknowledging that she can't do anything about it, but she's still going to do the best that she can do. That's not victimhood. She's not saying, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Like, no, she's not doing that.
Oh, my misogyny. They're not going to like this because my misogyny. Because I'm a woman. And
she never said that.
People don't like women.
She didn't say that.
All right, let's go and dive into this video.
That's not what she said.
Here we have, she's already saying she's going to face backlash simply by existing as a woman. It's like, no, she's not going to get backlash because maybe she underperformed in the role. Maybe she...
We haven't seen the movie, so we know that's not the reason. The backlash that she's getting now isn't because she was bad in the movie. So we can just throw that away. That's not a real talking point.
Wasn't good. Maybe the movie just was bad. Maybe
we don't know because we haven't seen the movie, so we can just throw that away. All the backlash she's receiving now has nothing to do with the quality of the movie. Or her performance in the movie.
Maybe the writing was bad, whatever it may be.
We don't know because we haven't seen the movie. We don't know if the writing's bad because we haven't seen the movie. So basically, everything you've said is exactly what she was saying in the interview, and then you guys go on to do the thing that she said in the interview.
No, it's not going to be that. It's going to be because my misogyny.
Right, which is what's happening literally right now. You, as a woman, are actually participating in that type of misogyny by piggybacking off of all the stuff that guys are saying about her. You are participating in it. Remember, like, one of the comments I get, or a series of comments that I get in my videos, I think is quite funny, is when people pick a token and then they say, this token did this thing, so therefore, what have you got to say about that? So, for example, if I make a video and I'm like, oh, this is bad for gay people, they'll go, hey, but this one gay person on this one podcast said it was okay. So what do you think about that? As if tokenizing that person is a good thing. Don't tokenize people. Like, you shouldn't do that. And you shouldn't be a token yourself. Like what Melanie Mack is doing here. She is making herself a token within the misogyny by being a woman who is piggybacking off of that sexism and going, hey, I'm going to actually participate in it and therefore validate so many things that these awful men are saying. It's a really bad position to be in.
So, here she says, it definitely made me aware that simply existing as a woman in that space is something that people comment on. We have become very comfortable having this weird ownership of women's bodies. I can't really stop them. I can only be myself. Okay, so this is addressing in a new interview where she'll face backlash over leading Warner Brothers Supergirl simply because she's playing a female superhero, right? So, but no, she's no stranger to this because she's dealt with it before you got.
She has with House of the Dragon. But also, I don't think you guys are aware that you're just doing exactly what she's saying. This is the best part about all of these reactions, is that these guys are actually just doing what she says they're going to do. It's like you fell for it. You did the thing. I don't know how else to put this. It's pretty funny.
Guys, mind you, Supergirl already was a successful enough franchise to even warrant a movie.
Was it? Was it? The TV show was very much trashed by most of the haters out there. I mean, I have to go back and look to see that was the case. They didn't like Sasha as Supergirl in the Flash movie, which flopped at the box office. So I don't really know where you're pulling that information from, that Supergirl is successful enough in media to warrant this movie being a huge success from the jump. Like, I don't know where you're getting those numbers from. But I mean, there's a lot of space in your head, so it could have been from anywhere.
And all of that, but no. She wants to be, I'm that pioneer, you know, I know that just by existing, just because I exist, people aren't going to like it.
One of the things I think is really funny is the amount of, like, layering of the cake with these guys when it comes to stuff that's being said. You can read what she said there and totally understand what she means without all this other hoopla, without all this other spin. Like the spin that you guys are putting on it doesn't really make sense, because clearly what she says is very specific. She's not calling herself a pioneer. She's not running defense for the failure of Supergirl. Like, she's not doing any of that. You can literally read in that statement what she's saying. And none of what you're saying happened in that statement.
Well, that sounds to me, this reads like, okay, this is not going to be very good, but we've already got the victim card to play, and I've already got that on standby whenever the movie flops to say, hey, by the way.
Do they understand what being a victim is? Like, playing the victim card is? Do they understand what that means? Do they get it? There's no victimhood here. She literally says, I can't really stop them. I can only be myself. She's taking ownership of that and converting it into empowerment. There's no victimhood there.
Which, mind you, I think this was a risky move in general. I had no interest in this. And this is from somebody.
So it's a very popular IP that you say warrants this or whatever. But then you say, I have no interest in it. So you don't care about the movie, which means you're just talking about it because you're trying to get outrage clicks. That's the only reason you're talking about it. You don't care about it.
Who liked Superman, the last Superman movie. I defended it. I liked it. I even, some people were like mad that I liked it. I don't know. I guess they felt betrayed that I liked it. I don't know how one would feel betrayed if I like a movie that they don't like, but alas, I did get some comments. But just saying, I defended that movie, and I liked it. So if I liked that, then of course there would be some sort of, like, it wouldn't be that hard to make this spin-off movie and for me to like that. But alas, I just have no interest in it. It looks boring to me. And yeah, her little cameo she had, I don't know, I just didn't particularly like her anyway. I didn't like hate her or anything, but I just wasn't interested. Mind you, with this more anti-hero character and story, it's real.
I usually skip, just so you guys know, I usually skip over subjective stuff. I don't really care if she doesn't find it interesting or whatever. That doesn't bother me. I'm not going to say, oh, well, you should definitely like it. I'm not the entertainment police. I'm not the media police. If somebody doesn't like something, they don't like it. That's fine. I don't really care too much. It's her subjective opinion about it. Like, I don't care.
Really hard to do. It's really hard to pull off. This regardless of a dude or a woman, right? If you look at any or
except it's not regardless of it being a dude or a woman, right? It's not regardless of that, because the entire point she's making is that being a woman in these kinds of spaces leads to a level of criticism that men do not receive. And that is factual. That is true. They don't get the same type of criticism. Not the objectification that women receive is different from the criticism that men receive. Literally, it's different. No one talks about how attractive a man is in their roles. But every woman that's in a role, they have to be like a supermodel, a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. They have to fit into those boxes. The vast majority, or the typical conversation that occurs about women, is different from the typical conversation that happens around men. They might say men don't look strong enough to be in the role, or they're not tall enough, or they might do something along those lines. They don't objectify them in a way that makes it seem like they have to be sexually attractive to be deserving of the media they're in. That's not the same conversations that happen. It's literally not.
Even just like beyond just anti-hero, even if you take a hero who has a more snarky personality, look at Tony Stark, for example, that type of role is very difficult because you're taking traits that are not likable and you're making them likable because of how your delivery is. Some people can do it, some people can't.
What does that have to do with any of this? Wow, some people are capable of doing things that other people can't do when it comes to writing, acting, directing, things like that. Shocker. I thought that everybody was equal in terms of what they can bring to the table. I thought everyone was equal. My bad. My bad. H2O for life. Point to me a video where Nerdrotic or Critical Drinker talk about how men are not sexy enough to be in certain roles. Give me one video where they look at a male actor, a man, and go, hey, that guy doesn't look like he fucks hard enough, so he shouldn't be Superman or he shouldn't be Batman. Point me in the direction of that video. I would love to know where the video where they're talking about his dick isn't big enough, like when they talk about women's boobs not being big enough. Point me in the direction of that video where they talk about men that way. Because that's what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the weird objectification of women. Their asses aren't big enough. Their tits aren't big enough. They don't smile enough. Point me in a direction of a video where they do that in comparison to men. Where they talk about men's ass size, dick size, whether or not they're hot enough. Like, link me to any Critical Drinker or Nerdrotic video where that's the conversation that's happening. And spoiler alert, you can't. H2O. This literally is a woman's point of view. Melanie Mack is a woman and Millie Alcock is a woman. Are they doing this to men? Is Melanie Mack doing this to men, or does she do it to Tomb Raider? Has Millie Alcock done that? Point me to a Melanie Mack video where she's talked about whether a guy's dick is big enough for him to be in a role. Just one. One Melanie Mack video where she's like, that guy's dick looks too small in his pants, so he shouldn't be in this movie. Opposed to the woman's boobs aren't big enough, which is what she said about Laura Croft in Tomb Raider. Give me that video. I'm willing to take it if you've got one, if you have an example, because I don't run on vibes and trust me, bro. I run on reality and facts. So if you can point me to a video where they've ever complained about the size of a man's ass or his dick, whether it be a man or a woman doing it, I'll gladly put it on screen and we'll watch it. Right now, this is your chance. H2O, prove me wrong. You're just making a general point, aka you don't have any proof of it. Thank you so much for validating what I'm saying here. If you don't come in here with proof of something that you're saying, it's not going to go well for you. Point me in the direction of that video, I'll pull it up on screen and I will eat crow. But you can't. A general point means nothing without any sort of evidence.
Obviously, Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark, yeah, people love that. But then if you have something like Brie Larson's Carol Danvers, some people, I guess, liked it. I didn't.
Right. So what is the problem with that then? What's the reason? What is the difference between Captain Marvel and Captain America and Iron Man? If that's the one character you're pointing to, what is the difference in those characters on the surface that could actually be a problem? I wonder what it is.
I'll just say I didn't like it, and a lot of other people didn't like it because I don't think she pulled it off. And
by the way, she's the only one out of all of those names you mentioned that had a $1 billion movie as their first film. I'm just saying, if we're going on finances, the only one with $1 billion movie on her first film.
It's not she's a woman, because I think that Angelina Jolie, for example, can really pull off those type of roles well. Look at classic Lara Croft. I know that she's unrecognizable now in every.
I couldn't have picked a better. Like I just said, that this is Melanie Mack goes on about how attractive Lara Croft is and how big her boobs are and stuff like that. I could have not picked a better example a second ago, a better example, because she immediately does the thing that I said she was going to do.
Way, including personality, but a classic Lara Croft wasn't your traditional hero character originally. She was more along the anti-hero side of things, and she was very selfishly motivated, and she was very selfish in general. So to take a character who is very selfish and make them likable, you have to have talent with writing that, and you have to have talent with delivering that.
But none of that has anything to do with the conversation we're having about Supergirl, because the movie isn't out. The movie's not out. So I don't know what we're doing here. We have skewed away from the actual statements that she made, and now we're in speculatory range where you're just making up this concept, this theory that the movie is going to be bad because of the writing or the directing or whatever. Why are we even talking about that? The movie doesn't come out for another couple months.
And I thought Angelina Jolie was amazing with that, and obviously the Lara Croft in the games, fantastic, the classic games. So there's a way to do it, but you have to have the talent to do it. I can't really speak on her. I just didn't really watch whatever she's in. Like,
okay, so you don't know who she is. You didn't watch the show, which means you cannot confirm or deny any of the stuff that she suffered with through House of the Dragon, which, by the way, I know there were tons of videos made by Nerdrotic and those guys. I've already gone back and looked at them. I talked about it on the video where I reacted to them earlier in the week. But there's tons of videos where they had made fun of her for how she looks on House of the Dragon. She was playing a 14-year-old on that show. And people like Yellow Flash were saying they were judging how hot she was on the show when she was playing a 14, 15, 16-year-old character. That's a little weird. That's a little sus. But you don't know anything about that, which means when she talks about being objectified in House of the Dragon, you have no point of reference because you don't know, which makes this even more disturbing.
I briefly watched like one episode of House of the Dragon, and I just didn't want to watch anymore because it was nasty. So I was like, nah, I'm good.
Oh.
So I can't really speak on her at all. But I'll just say, at least from, her cameo in the Superman movie and then what I've seen in the trailer for Supergirl, I'm just not about it. I'm not convinced. I don't hate the character, but I also just I don't know. I'm not.
But you're so compelled to make a video to call her out. This is the kind of shit that really gets under my skin. Is these people that are so detached from everything, but don't care if they damage the fandom in the process. How dare you gatekeep people, Eric? How dare you gatekeep people and do some sort of loyalty test on whether they're fans or not? It doesn't even matter if you're a fan. She's not interested in the movie. She didn't watch House of the Dragon. She doesn't like Millie Alcock. But she's up here on her large platform shitting all over it with no interest in it and no background of Millie Alcock's to even draw from. So what are we doing here? What are we doing? The interview was made for people who might know Millie Alcock, who may remember her from House of the Dragon, and are excited to see her in Supergirl. And so she's talking about her time on House of the Dragon and how she's preparing for Supergirl. That's what's happening here. It's just crazy.
Not drawn in as either. And it's a type of role I like. I like an anti-hero. I like a snarky...
Supergirl is not an anti-hero. Somebody brought that up in the chat. Sorry, who was it here that mentioned this? Simon. I think she doesn't understand what an anti-hero is because Supergirl and Lara Croft aren't really anti-heroes. They're not. They're not anti-heroes. You're right. She doesn't understand what it is. She keeps saying it. But this is really why her community is kind of moved away from her, because of just this obvious media grift that she's doing.
Character, and regardless of male or female character. But there's plenty of female characters that I like in these types of roles. But
right, sure.
it just wasn't particularly interesting to me. But in terms of her using that card, the victimhood,
there's no victimhood misogyny card. She's talking about sexism. But anyway, continue.
Misogyny card it just makes no sense. I'm so sick of seeing this. And the same with like whenever these movies, it's just like, oh wow, it's just amazing to see a movie with a black lead finally succeed when there's a bazillion of them and they've existed for a very long time.
What? What are we on about? Why are we talking about movies with black leads? Where did that come from? Is that just so deep in her head that she's always thinking about it? A little racist there.
And then you have, we have the same with, what was it, K-pop Demon Hunters, or where they're just like, somebody, I can't remember because I didn't watch it, at like the Grammys or whatever it was, one of them.
Why are you commenting on stuff you didn't watch? Why are we doing this? I can't take it anymore. I can't take this anymore.